Welcome to Left Off the Map, everybody. Today I'm creating a recipe that isn't mine. I've created lots of recipes, I guess, that aren't mine, but this one I'm going to accredit to my good friend and the executive producer of this show, Simon Hamilton. I asked him what recipe could I do on the show. I love linguine, that uses linguine, and he said this one. So it's bacon, sun-dried tomato cream linguine. So I've got, there's two components to it. One, the normal component of cooking the pasta, and the pasta water is going to be very, very important here. So I want to add a good amount of salt to my water. The rest of the dish is really, really simple according to Simon. So we've got bacon here. It's just cut into little battens. Sun-dried tomatoes, which I'm going to chop up. We cook those off together with a little bit of garlic, some olive oil, till that's nice and sautéed. Add some cream, and then we transfer our pasta over. So a very, very simple recipe for a very, very simple human. Add my pasta, my linguine, according to this. We've got 8 minutes, so it's a nice quick one. Pot, salted water. I need some oil in my pan, a good amount of oil. About 2 tablespoons of olive oil. My bacon. I've got about half a cup of chopped bacon. My sun-dried tomatoes. About the same, about half a cup of sun-dried tomatoes as well. And then 1 clove of sliced garlic. So this isn't going to take, well, this will take, is probably what I should say, it'll take about the same time to bring this sauce together as it's going to take to cook the pasta. So it's about 8 minutes from now until finished. I'm going to cook the bacon, the sun-dried tomato, the garlic for about 6 minutes. And then I'll add my cream for a couple of minutes, just let that bubble away. And then I'll bring the pasta with a decent amount of pasta water together with the sauce. Now, a different way of doing this, I'm going to pop this into this bowl, all this sauce, and then I'm going to put some of the pasta in with that. It's going to make it easier to sort of toss it around and let the starch that's on the outside of that pasta do its thing when it thickens, to thicken our sauce. So I'll bring my cooked pasta over so that we get a lot of transfer of that salty, starchy water. All right, so now this is just much easier to sort of bring everything together like that. So you can see how that has thickened up. So everything now is sticking to the pasta. It's thickened up beautifully. It's exactly what I wanted it to be. It's the consistency that I wanted it to be. Well, I say the consistency that I wanted it to be. I'm hoping it's the consistency that Simon has it when he makes it. So that pasta's done. There's probably enough there to serve 4 people for an entree or 2 people on a main. I'll show you an interesting way that you can plate this. It's a lot cleaner than sort of the normal way you have to do it. So if you get a ladle, put your ladle in your bowl, spin your tongs around to create sort of that big sort of mound of pasta. Then you can just transfer it on and out of your ladle, and you'll have a nice, neat, round. It's much neater than sort of the normal way that you try and scoop it all up. It gets quite messy. If you've got that ladle, life gets a lot easier to be able to plate some pasta, especially linguine or spaghetti or something like that, to plate it nice and neat. So you've got a nice, perfect round of pasta. You can shave some parmesan on top of if you want to, and grate some parmesan on, put some fresh herbs on there. and it's very, very, very neat, tidy and pretty. Now, I am going to try this. This is not my recipe, it's Simon's recipe. So, let's see. It's actually pretty good. I'm impressed. Well done, mate. That's a really tasty pasta. 3 ingredients, super fast, super fresh, super tasty, super Simon. Now we're off to the Compas Hut, which is a unique, very environmentally friendly accommodation on the northwest coast of Tasmania, a little place called Forth. And very, very close to that is Turner's Beach Berry Patch, which have great strawberries, raspberries, tayberries, blackberries, and a fantastic little pizza oven. So Henry's going to go and do some research there, find out a few things and do a recipe. And then we'll be back here for a scientific twist on a poached egg.
It's summertime in Tassie and it's my favourite time of the year. Summer means berries, and there's no better place for berries than Turner's Beach Berry Patch. They do an amazing job. I've got some punnets here. I'm going to pick my own strawberries. Then after that, we're going to check out some amazing accommodation at Forth. Let's get into it. It's pretty cool. It's so satisfying though, isn't it? Like, I was picking raspberries in my garden, raspberries and strawberries in my garden this morning. Damn. Oh. Kylie and Tamika, thank you so much for having me here at Forth today. It's a beautiful spot you've got here. And this is your tiny house.
Yeah, I went to the School of Architecture and was interested in micro design. And then I talked Tamika and my family into this idea of building one. And then we ended up, not this one, but we ended up building a tiny house, which is one of the best things you can do.
Yep.
You make a lot of mistakes, and this is number 5.
Number 5, okay.
Maybe potentially.
Might be a bit more.
Yeah.
Can't keep track.
It is a tiny house on a trailer, on wheels, as they call them. So it is actually a vehicle, a caravan.
Registered as a caravan,
So we have a F truck that you connect up, and this has been on the road a few times.
Oh my God, I had no idea. So it's on a trailer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's semi-solar passively designed. I say semi because if we designed it for this purpose, it would have more glazing on the north. You know, it would have different features, that sort of thing. So it's got double glazing, insulation. It is orientated towards the north, so it's climate responsive. So, you know, there's a whole sustainability, self-sufficient element to it.
I was wondering if I might be able to make up a bit of a, well, it's not a feed, it's a feed, but it's in liquid form. I was thinking of making a smoothie out of the strawberries I got from Turner's Beach.
Of course.
Could I, well, I've got the power to do it.
Oh yeah, plenty of power.
Yeah.
Make yourself at home.
Feel free, enjoy.
Beautiful. Thanks very much. So I'm here in Forth. We've got the beautiful little tiny house behind us. I'm going to make a really Tasmanian smoothie using Turner's Beach Berry Patch strawberries that we picked earlier on. I've also got some kale and spinach. Now, I've grown this myself. I've been looking forward to a chance to brag about my garden to everyone on the show. So I actually grow all of my own food, and there's no better feeling than consuming your own greens, that's for sure. This is a fantastic little 5-minute smoothie that you can put together really, really quickly, get all your nutrition in, and it tastes great as well. So we've got strawberries from Turner's Beach Berry Patch. They are absolutely delicious at this time of year. Nothing better than fresh strawberries. Spinach, kale, both from my garden at home, and we've got banana, avocado, and some Tassie walnuts as well. I'm gonna get started on my smoothie. So first thing I'm gonna do is put our hero ingredient in, a handful of strawberries from Turner's Beach Berry Patch. And the seeds in the strawberries actually provide really good fibre, so extremely good for you. So don't be afraid to be generous in putting those in your smoothie. And at this time of year, they're abundant, they're pretty cheap, a fantastic way to get some good nutrition. So in with the spinach. You can be as generous as you want. You can sort of squish that in. It'll zip up to pretty much nothing. Spinach, full of folate, really full of iron, also really good for you as well. And just mixing up your greens is good. A bit of variety is great. So I've got a little bit of kale here as well. And it's actually it's quite a strong flavour, and a lot of people don't like it, but in moderation in a smoothie like this, it balances it out beautifully. Not much really interesting to say about banana. We all know what they are. Cool, in they go. Oh geez, this is getting to be a very, very, very big smoothie. Okay, lovely. Now we've got some avocado, but I might leave this out on this occasion because we've got a lot of green stuff in here already. And we're also gonna put some Tassie walnuts in. Tassie's really known for its walnuts. A good dollop of Greek-style yogurt from Tamar Valley. Into that. Geez, we're full of Tassie stuff today. Tassie yogurt, Tassie milk, Tassie nuts, Tassie greens, Tassie strawberries. Not bad at all. In with our milk. It's hard to tell how much to put in because there's so much other stuff in there, but you get a feel for it. There's probably about 300 or 400 mils does the job. On with the lid and just pray that I've actually got this nicely in. The first time I used this blender, I didn't quite have it sealed and I had green stuff all over the ceiling. So there is our smoothie. Now, don't be afraid just to play with it. You don't need to worry about being specific with the amount of this or the amount of that. Cheers. I'm feeling healthier already. It's good. It's really good. Fresh. My body's coming alive. It's magic. I'm getting stronger with every sip. I'm gonna turn into the Hulk. Man, oh man, this is good. This is good. This is far out. Oh, I'm gonna just run this. I'm gonna do laps of the farm now. I've got this super juice into me. I'm gonna take this smoothie, settle in at the Compas Hut for the rest of the day, just tuck up in bed there, read a book, look at the view, take it easy. So, yeah, have a good one.
Huge thank you to Henry for showing us that great little accommodation and the berry patch. It's probably a 10-minute drive from where we are filming right now from my house. So it's nice to have somewhere to go and pick some great berries. And if we want to get away, even though it's close, get away for a night and live, I guess, a little bit simpler, we can go to the Compas Hut. Beautiful little accommodation. Like I said before we headed off to look at the Compas Hut with Henry, I said I'll show you a scientific way to poach an egg, and that's what we're going to do now. So I've got my steam oven on. It's set at 65 degrees. Got a couple of eggs in there, which I'm going to slow cook or steam inside the shell. And I'm going to do a little dish that goes with that. Couscous. So I've cooked off some couscous already. Very, very simple, hot water. Everyone knows how to make couscous. My fish, I'm going to pan-sear some salmon. And then I'm going to make a dressing to go with it, sort of a cross between a mayonnaise and a hollandaise. So we'll start with making the dressing. You need a mason jar or some sort of jar that you can seal up and shake to use to get mechanical emulsification. We need lemon juice in there. We need we're going to make a decent amount of this because we're adding an egg yolk and Dijon mustard. There's a lot of emulsifier there, so it's going to be really, really thick. So we'll add in, we need the juice of 2 lemons. You can use, if you've got like a Chardonnay vinegar or something like that, a white, some sort of nice white vinegar that you like, you can use that instead. And one more, and then I'm going to add my egg yolk, my Dijon, some salt, and my oil. And I'm going to add my oil until I get the consistency that I want. It's normally 3 to 1. So 3 parts oil to 1 part water or vinegar or whatever the other liquid is. So you can see by the time I'm going to get another amount, it's going to be quite a bit of emulsified cream to go with our fish. So you'll have a little bit left over which you can store in the fridge for a couple of weeks. Because you're using the egg yolk, it will have a use by date, but that use by date will be whatever the egg use by date is. And my fish I'm just going to pan sear. So I've got a couple of portions of Huon salmon there, which I'm going to pop in the pan, get a nice crispy skin on it, and that'll be it. So you can see how much lemon juice we've got in there out of 2 lemons. And you can adapt this. I mean, if you don't want this much of it, you can back off a little bit. But like I said, because you're using an egg yolk and because you're using Dijon, really we're using Dijon for the flavour this time. A lot of the time you use Dijon for the emulsification property, but we're using it for the flavour. If you've got a juicer, this would have gone a lot faster. It would be a lot easier. A teaspoon of Dijon mustard. My egg yolk. So the white is not an emulsifier, it's only the yolk. The yolk. A good pinch of salt. You can add pepper if you want to, but not everyone likes pepper, so I leave it out and then people can add it later if they want to, but you definitely need salt. And some oil. So I'm going to put, like I said, about 3 to 1. I'll start with probably half or the same amount of oil to vinegar in there, and then I'll see if I need more after that. So a decent amount of oil. Seal it up. You want one that has a really good seal so you don't make a mess everywhere. And then, okay. So you can see that's changed, it's nice and creamy, it's a completely different colour. That'll stay like that now, it won't separate out. And this is where the consistency that you want will decide what you do with it now. You can add another egg yolk if you want to thicken it up even more. You can leave it as it is. So now it's got kind of a runny consistency of emulsified dressing. So if I wanted that thicker, I would add another egg yolk to it and then emulsify that egg yolk in, or a little bit more Dijon mustard and emulsify that in. It's completely up to you. I'll probably add a little bit more Dijon and another egg yolk into that to get it a bit thicker. All right, so my egg, 65 degrees for about 45 minutes for us to cook or poach that in the shell. So now all I need to do is I've probably got 15 minutes just to wait for my egg to catch up, and then I'll cook off my fish. I've just finished cooking my fish, transferred that on top of my couscous, and my egg should be right to come out now. It's been in there for about 40 minutes. Now this should just break out of the shell and on top of my couscous, and it should be perfectly poached. So let's give it a go. It's pretty warm. Perfectly poached egg straight out of the shell on top of our dish, some salt, on top of everything. So the couscous will soak all of this up, which is good. Beautiful. Perfectly cooked fish, a perfectly poached egg, and that couscous will soak up all that dressing that we made. This, I reckon, you could have for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. See you next time.